Hello and welcome to another edition of Max Sports, and today I'm joined in the studio by Talish and Lauren from Breaking Bounderies. Good afternoon to both of you.
Good afternoon to you, Emerson. Nice to see you again.
You can talk to me, you don't have to look at the cameras over there. That's the thing, you don't need to do that. Lauren, tell me a little bit about what the project is about.
So Breaking Boundaries is a cohesion project. So it's really about bringing people together, and we use cricket as a way to do that. So we put on different events with cricket as a theme, and then really it's just about bringing different people together for different days. So we do day events, which are classed as like one-off events that might just last a full day. They come to do some cricket or a cricket tea, things like that. And then we can do some regular activities as well. So the regular activities, we work in partnership with Yorkshire Cricket Foundation, where we deliver a project called Walking Cricket. That's a regular sort of activity. A regular activity is usually 12 weeks or longer. And at the minute, with obviously due to COVID-19 and things like that, everything's online. So we're working in partnership with the Hindu temple in Bradford and Punjabi Roots. So we're doing an online dance class, and that's planned to run for 12 weeks online. So that's every Sunday, which is quite interesting in a sense, because we've never done anything online before. So it's all new to everybody. Seems to be working quite well. And then the other side of the project, we've got activation sort of grants where different community organisations apply for an activation grant. They put on an event, and yeah, it's kind of usually runs throughout the summer. So we're going to have to do things differently.
What sort of events can they run?
So usually it's kind of family fun days, cricket sort of games, things like that. So in the past, I know people have done stuff like a cricket day where they have a bit of cricket going on, food, music, lots of different things happening, and really it's just kind of a day where everybody can get together, socialise.
It's more of a fun day rather than actually playing the particular game.
Yeah. So when we say we're using cricket, it can be cricket themed as well. So it doesn't have to be heavily focused on actually getting in two teams playing a full game of cricket. It can be really fun, and that's really good as well for people who necessarily don't play cricket or don't really have never done it before. So yeah, it's really sort of.
When you're talking about cricket, you've got a man on my left hand side,
Yeah.
just about here. He's been involved in lots of cricket stuff over the years.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, are you recently joined the team?
Yeah, so we're a partner, one of the three partner organisations that runs Breaking Boundaries. So the host is the local authority, Bradford Metropolitan Council, who Lauren works for. We've got the Youth Trust and Sports Trust, sorry, and Sporting Equals. And it's Sporting Equals that I work for. And so my time is divided between Breaking Boundaries and one more project, but that's how it's basically come about as a result of three organisations coming together to deliver this project. Just to say, it's targeted at three wards, which is Bowling, Little Orton, and Barker End, and it's really empowering the communities within those wards to they can chill out in their own little groups and comfort zones, but really what we're trying to do is get them out of the comfort zones and socially mixing with others, and getting to know what the other side is about as well as their own.
So is it going through community organisations? Do you have to apply for the funding, or do you, as an individual, can you get involved?
Laura mentioned that each year we invite the organisations that are in those three wards to apply for a grant, which is up to £1,500, I do believe, and what that covers is for them to be creative about activities that they can do in order to invite their little group and also invite other groups from other areas to come along. And this is where we hope that the social mixing actually happens. So the grants are there, as well as Lauren being there and I to support these the groups, hands-on groups. Like for example, if they can't get hold of a cricket coach, or a dance coach or any other sort of support that they need, we'll come in and we'll support them through that. But it's really the ideas and the inspiration has to come from within the communities, because we want all the communities to do their own stuff and do stuff that's unique to them. So it's not just about setting up standard projects like a cricket coaching session, which is fine, but we want it to be relevant to those community groups as well. So we help the community groups within that.
Does it have to be only young people, or is it for everybody?
So it's for everybody. So the activation grants as well, actually, the ideas come from young people. So they're called community champions, and each organisation has a group of community champions. And really the whole sort of activation grant bid, the ideas put in that will come from the young people. And yeah, their ideas will go into that, and then they will run it as well, and we help support them run it. But no, it's for everybody, so it's for families, young people, older adults. It is literally for everybody. Any sort of activation grant event is for anybody, it's open to everybody, and same for the sort of one-off stuff that we do as well. It's usually for any age, any gender.
What sort of one-off stuff are you talking about?
So in the past we've done some stuff, again working in partnership with the Yorkshire Cricket Foundation. We've delivered one of their projects called Pop-Up Cricket, and we've done that in the Little Horton ward. We did it in February half term, actually, before sort of lockdown came into place, and that was Pop-Up Cricket is really a project where it's for young people, where they just kind of come along for 4 sessions, and we did it in the February half term while they were at school, and we did it over 4 days, and when they attend they got a free bat and ball, so they were a bit more like a coaching session. But then we've done this online, we did that online dance class, didn't we, as a one-off to start with, and again that was just kind of on one Sunday, a one-off sort of event, just to see if people would enjoy it, and they did, so then we decided just to keep it going. And now that's become a regular session.
Well, recreational cricket has started again, hasn't it, over the weekend? I mean, do you think you can plan some cricket sessions where, under the current situation, are there any projects that people can plan? Yeah,
so obviously that opens it out more to us in terms of opportunities to organise stuff, because we're obviously limited to Zoom sessions, which is, not an ideal situation because nobody's done sessions, as Lauren has already mentioned. So we hopped along and struggled along, and we've learned as we've gone along with the Zoom sort of issue. But now we've got Zoom, and now we've opened it out to cricket clubs, which is good in one sense. But but there's also the government regulations that come in as well, which dictate and sort of restrict what we can do as well. So one of the regulations is around restricting groups of 6s. In like a coaching session, if you like. So if you're doing a coaching session, basically you can't have more than 6 in a cluster to do the session, including the member of staff. So in reality, there's only 5 places for the participants.
We are planning to do some face-to-face stuff, getting slowly back into it. These guidelines only came out last week, was it?
Yeah.
So we're just kind of getting our heads around it. Finding out in terms of what the local authority is saying in terms of risk assessments, things like that, and then we're going to be planning some face-to-face stuff towards the end of summer. Fingers crossed, everything sort of goes to plan.
And what sort of response or what sort of projects did you do last year?
So last year I wasn't in person. Well, that got cut out.
Neither was I either. But yeah.
So last year we went.
What did you read up anything that? Is there anything that sort of people did?
So I know they did pop-up cricket last year. That's what I do know. And again, the activation grants that run. Again, they had stuff at Park Avenue cricket ground where they did like one of the community organisations did a big sort of cricket match and invited different community groups down to go and watch. And then
Ijaz did, yeah. Ijaz Khan from Saltaire, yeah. So he's a youth worker at Carmen Centre. So he did, with him having a cricket background, it's natural for him to do that. I think he organised some sort of a World Cup
Oh yes, because of the walk of this, I think a number of events were around that. Yeah,
so he included within that a trip to Headingley to watch one of the international games as well. But he invited different communities to come together and have a World Cup, and each community were like given a name of a country to represent. So it was like a World Cup. It was like a proper World Cup, and I wasn't around then, but as far as I know, that works pretty well. And currently, we've got girl sessions. Just to let you know, we've got girl sessions happening over at Park Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that again, you're encouraging young girls to play the cricket.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've seen over the last few weeks, few months, is that once the lockdown has eased, and over the last few weeks, where I live behind there is a sports field, and we've seen families playing together, and I think that would have never happened.
Yeah. No, it's a weird time that we're kind of living in at the minute. So I'm hoping once like lockdown eases even more, we can get out there again and kind of put some stuff on to bring people together, and just kind of reconnect people again, because that would be a big thing for us to do once lockdown does ease more, just to kind of bring people together again, and do a bit of a celebration of bringing people together.
End of COVID celebration, But you're right, Masood, that when you say that COVID, has had an impact on people, sometimes in a positive way, yes, there's a danger of COVID and the infection, but it's forced people to talk to each other, hasn't it? And to sort of get to know each other, in the family situation. You're in the house more or less all the time, aren't you? And so you're bound to sort of talk to each other and try and getting along. So that's been a new thing for some families, and that's obviously had an impact on what you're saying, Masood, about families. Because I've noticed there's one family that comes along every day, without fail, at Greater Horton Church Cricket Club. So the mum's there, the dad's there, the daughter and the son. So there's 4 of them. And without fail, around about between 5 and 6, they'll come, with the wickets and bat and ball, and they'll have a game. Yeah, so.
And that would have never happened in the past.
I haven't seen a family, particularly from the BAME community, doing that. And to be fair, not with the white community as well. So I was there not last night before, and they were there. Yeah, it's like a regular thing for them.
I think we should ask them permission to film them as a part of the documentary. I think it would be fun to actually talk to people like that.
Definitely,
because it's the sort of thing that's never happened. The other thing is, over the COVID, we've realised that so many communities in the past may have never talked to each other, the neighbours or something like that. It just seems everybody lives in their own little, blocks in the community organisation. And now it seems that people have exchanged lots of views, and I think it's ample opportunity to actually build on. It's a great opportunity for projects like yours.
Yeah, it's ideal for us, isn't it? With what we're trying to do is get them to sort of interact more. But in a sense, COVID has done us a bit of a favour already. It's got the ball rolling already, hasn't it? It's got the communities talking, like you said, about the neighbours. People looking after the neighbours more. And they're talking more over the fence. There's games going on over the fence with badminton and stuff like that, and there's cups of tea being handed over. So there's a lot more interaction between neighbours, for example, than there used to be. And we're hoping that's going to develop even further, even if the lockdown's finished, because we've got lots and lots of ideas where communities can come together. So it's all good for us.
In the current situation, when are the applications? Are they online, ongoing applications, or do you have to apply for? There's a deadline for it.
So they're not open yet at the minute. So we kind of go to community groups and community organisations and speak to them, and then they get invited to a city leadership event, it's called, and that's where loads of different sort of organisations can come to that event and basically look at applying for an activation grant for the following year. So that happens usually in around November time, and then the activation grants then that they apply for the summer after. So this year, not sure yet how it's going to work, just depending on if by November, if we can actually have face-to-face sort of big events happening, who knows, sort of thing. But if we can, then we'll have to see.
With Lauren working for the local authority, they've got their own budget on top of the activation grant as well. So the activation grant has been put on hold for this year because of COVID. But what we do is, what Lauren's been doing is she's been talking to all the project leads within those 3 wards and asking them, you know, what sort of support they need, you know, once they're ready to actually start getting active in the community again and doing some project work.
Once we get the green light,
yeah,
we've kind of just told them that everything's frozen for the time being, which it is. And once we get the green light, they know that when that time comes, we'll sit down with them and really plan how we then deliver something. Whether or not things have to change, or if things can stay the same, we'll just have to go with it each group by group. So fingers crossed, most can still deliver what they want to deliver. But if not, we're happy to adapt to how we need to sort of meet government guidelines, ECB guidelines, and as well sort of what the community wants, and sort of what that organisation wants to do. We're happy just to kind of be there to support that.
How complex or how difficult is the form to fill in? Where can people spend the money? You know, once the budget's, what are they entitled to? What's do's and don'ts on it?
So really, it's just kind of the money is spent on that event. So the event that everybody plans, the money that they get is to be spent on that event. So that could be anything from sort of food for the day, or sort of
coaches,
music,
anything really. Then.
Anything really on that day, as long as it's kind of reasonable for that event. We sit down with each group as well while they're applying, while they're writing the bid in. We do talk to each group in terms of if they need support while they're writing it. And then they'll send it in to us, we'll give them a bit of feedback, then everything's kind of approved then, and they get the green light, and it's just time to plan and go ahead with it really. Like I say, it's different this year. It is
different, and you know, we've had to adapt. And just to mention that an important element of the activation grant is the heart of it, I think, is the young people. You know, the champions that Lauren mentioned earlier on. And so they're actually involved in the whole process right from the beginning to the end, particularly the middle bit where community organisers come in and put the application in, and the community champions might want to speak to some of these organisations to get further information. And really, from my knowledge, it's the champions that decide, which is really, really good, because we feel that the legacy has to be left once the Breaking Boundaries finishes, and what better legacy than young people, because they're going to be our future.
We also provide them with training sessions, don't we? So they have the city leadership event. That's where kind of the groups say they want to deliver something, and then once sort of the community champions are identified in each group, they're then all invited to sort of different training events around different things. So before lockdown happened it was February, there was a training session that took place, and then there was meant to be one in March, but with lockdown, so then it went online, so that we've had 2 virtual online training sessions, haven't we, where community champions have just been invited to still receive this training, and that all goes towards helping with the planning of the event, which is really good for them.
How many community champions do you have at the moment?
We were just talking about that actually before we started the interview. So it's just under 30.
Around 30.
So you'll have, I think we've got about 10 organisations or projects that are buying into the Breaking Boundaries, and each have got to put forward at least 2 community champions, but some of them have got a lot more than that. Some have got 2. So it varies how many each project sends.
And what age ranges are of the champions?
14 to 25.
14 to 25.
So you have to be 14 to 25 to be a champion. And what does a champion at the end to kind of learn? I mean, you mentioned that they get training and stuff. Are they representing particular organisations to go forward and stuff? Is that what the aim of it is?
Yeah, so they're sort of representing their organisation, and their task really was, like I say, putting the event on. So then by the end of the event, and once it's delivered, that's their sort of project. They can showcase what they've put together, and how they've done it and things like that. So it's a really nice way to sort of end by doing the event and bringing people together in this event, that the community champions can turn around and say, we've done this, and that's the main thing for them.
Are those champions going to be working voluntarily, or do they get something paid towards their work? Yeah,
so it's voluntary, but again, like all the training's paid for, things like that. and then when they sign up to be a community champion, they get like things like free goodies. I think they got a charging pack, you know, for the films last time. Little things like that. But yeah, it is on a voluntary basis. But again, they get with the bid, however much they bid for. If it's a sort of got the green light and approved, that's how much they get. So yeah, they get really good skills from it. They learn how to.
It's a really good experience, actually.
It's more of an experience.
It's a really because then it really depends on the champion. Once they've committed to the project, then it's really up to them how they take it in terms of how much effort they put in. You know what skills they've already got. You know, to offer. What can they learn from the other champions from other, you know, as part of the group. And lastly, you know, the network of people that they get connected to is invaluable, because some of the champions could be that they're just staying at home and they just haven't got the information about how they can move on. You know, they've got lots of ideas how to move their life on, but they don't know how. So this is where we come in. So we provide that network of people for those for champions as well. And provides, you know, in some ways it's like a career pathway for them. So initially they might do some volunteering. They might think, well, I like this, and might want to pursue it further. But don't know what to do. So we'll come in and we'll advise them around some careers advice, for example. You know, what course to do. You know, which short course they can do meanwhile, which long term they can do, and you know, so some of them. I mean, we gave our example. As youth workers, you know, we've all started off as volunteers. So
I was just going to come on to that. So when we talked about this previously, both of us have spent a lot of time volunteering before we got into our jobs and stuff. And then that sort of thing we can vouch for the fact that it actually helps you know, immensely, and you know, you get valuable experience. Plus, we build our contacts. Yeah,
I volunteered as well.
Yeah.
Throughout uni. So
that's how you got this job, really. Yeah. In a sense,
Sort of this sort of work. So. Yeah, well, we've kind of done some stuff on Twitter recently. We've got a lot going on social media at the minute, and we did when it was volunteer week. We put our own sort of volunteer experiences, and just tried to really emphasise to people how important volunteering is, and sort of how valuable it is really, because you can't get this sort of stuff like doing anything else really. And it is mad how many sort of opportunities it gives you, how many doors it opens.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So this is perfect for any sort of young person who does want to sort of get some experience with a CV while they're still at college or uni, things like that. It is a good way to do it.
Well, on that positive note, thank you very much for both of you coming in.
It's been a pleasure.
And hopefully we can work in partnership with lots of things, and if you've done a few projects, and come back and tell us more.
Yeah,
we will do.
Right, thank you very much, and that's all for this edition of Max Sports. Please subscribe to our channel, and we shall see you next.